So now that we've got the tension removed from the strut assembly, we need to come in here and remove this lower bolt. This also takes a 19 millimeter ratchet, socket, wrench. You'll probably need both. So it comes out, it can be kind of tight. You might need to use a breaker bar to bust it loose, but after that it comes out pretty easily. So the control arm's out of the way, it's drop free, and now the strut assembly just needs to be pulled from the truck. Well, as you saw in the previous video, our top hat bushings are pretty mangled. So the next step for us is to actually remove these so that we can replace them with the new ones. The 3 bolts on top use a 14 millimeter wrench or a 14 millimeter socket. So we just pulled the top hat off of the passenger side, and you can see it has the same kind of wallowing effect that we had over here on the driver's side. So these, for us, they definitely needed to be replaced. And if you're doing this, I would recommend at least pulling these out. It's only 3 bolts. It's very quick, very easy to pull these out and inspect these as well. And just like on the driver's side shock, the passenger side has that kind of notched area. Looks like somebody's been trying to chop down a tree. So now we're ready to reinstall the new strut assembly. We have the new top hat in place. So the new one just goes right in, just like the old one came out. Get it set in place. Run a bolt back through. So this is the part of the project where it helps to have 2 people. You need one person to help guide the shaft up through the top hat, and one person to jack on the floor jack. So go ahead and go up. So the shaft of the shock has passed through the top hat, and now we need to reattach it with the bolt. This kit comes with a new nylock nut in there, and you can see my brother's holding it with 2 wrenches. The top of the shaft will actually spin. So the big wrench he's using is a 19 millimeter, and the small one is an 8 millimeter. So just go ahead and snug that down as tight as it needs to be, and then we're ready to start reassembling the ball joints. So we got the shock bolted in place, tightened up at the top, and now we're just reinstalling these 2 bolts here at the bottom that connect the ball joint to the knuckle itself. So we finished torquing those 2 bolts under the steering knuckle, torqued them to spec, and now we're just going to tighten down this lower mounting point of the strut assembly. And again, this just uses a 19 millimeter socket and a 19 millimeter wrench. So we get that tightened down, then we'll come in and we'll retighten these lower control arm mounting bolts. And there we are, we're all finished up. We got one more skid plate to put on, but my brother wants to do an oil change first, so he'll just throw that back on later. But come under here, we got all our new shiny parts, everything's torqued to spec. Reality is this took us about 20 minutes per side. So that's kind of what you can expect. Granted, you don't have any fasteners that are cross-threaded or rusted or anything like that. We didn't run into any problems like that. This truck does have just over 100,000 miles on it. So, but yeah, like I said, 20 minutes per side. Nobody got injured. Everybody's got all their fingers and toes and eyeballs and everything. So, so it was real easy. So I appreciate y'all watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe.